We have the gray wolf in the north that most people know. And in the west, we did have another species, the coyote. In the middle, we had another wolf that occupied the forests, the Great Lakes, St. Lawrence forests, an intermediate kind of wolf, created in North America kind of wolf. It's not a coyote, and it's not a gray wolf, it's an eastern wolf.
It's really dry in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Caitlin, take 2.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Poncelet.
My name is Tara Mansfield.
My name is Julia Savinetti.
My name is Emily Berardi.
What were your initial thoughts coming into the project?
How are we logistically going to be able to accomplish this feat? 3 interviews, not that much time.
When we decided to work with Earthroots, I was very excited on their mission and their goals.
They've done work for the Temagami region. They're now campaigning to protect the eastern wolves.
Good morning, everyone. It is 7 a.m. on January 21st, 2024. We are going to interview the chair of the board of directors at Earthroots and the former environmental commissioner of Ontario, as well as a consulting ecologist, Gord Miller.
But as an ecologist, the wolf is an expression of the land, and the eastern wolf is the keystone species of the central forests of Ontario. It defines that ecosystem. It dominates the ecosystem. It forms and shapes that ecosystem. That's what the eastern wolf is.
What will happen if we don't help the conservation of the eastern wolves? What will happen to our ecosystem?
We know that the ecosystem will try to continue. The ecosystem will adjust to the absence of predators. But generally speaking, the stability of the forest structure, the trophic structure and the forest community that we know is to a large extent a function of the presence of wolves. So the big thing, Earthroots, is trying to make people conscious of the role and significance of wolves in the landscape, and that it's not the big bad wolf. It's an important integral part of the ecosystem of the forest. They can be dangerous in certain circumstances. I was a moose hunter for many years, and if you're hunting moose, so are they, and they're around the same areas. And they will sometimes, for instance, they're very curious. They'll follow you just to see what you're about. So they're not this terrible, evil thing that sits and preys. They don't seek to prey on humans and those kind of things. They're not that scary in that regard. So they're a curious animal.
I'm Brent Patterson, a field research scientist with the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry and an adjunct professor in the Department of Environmental and Life Sciences here at Trent University.
What do you guys do here at the lab regarding the eastern wolves?
Understanding what makes things tick. And so sometimes we get that by, in a lab by looking at results from genetic studies, but often you learn about the animals by following them. We were following a pack across a lake in Algonquin, and they had killed a deer not too long ago, and the pack consisted of a breeding pair and then several pups. And the pups had brought a leg bone with them, and they were throwing it up in the air and then chasing each other and playing tag, and it was very fun, interesting to watch them be so playful. Our research has shown that the 2 biggest threats to the persistence of eastern wolves are harvesting by people, so hunting and trapping, and hybridization, largely by coyotes, but also by gray wolves. And that one is not, the 2 aren't independent, because in areas where there's a lot of hunting and trapping, there tends to be more hybridization. So there's a lot of debate around the legitimacy of the eastern wolf as a distinct species. Having it as a distinct species means that it warrants a elevated conservation status. There's enough that's unique about this animal and not found elsewhere, that it is so worthy of conservation attention. Having as many protected areas as possible for eastern wolves is definitely beneficial. And wolves occupy large territories and large areas, so we've been spending a lot of time in recent years assessing connectivity between protected areas for wolves in central Ontario and trying to, I guess, recommend approaches to maintain a more connected, protected landscape for animals like the eastern wolf.
So we are at Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park, and we are seeing this protected space for wolves.
Yeah, it's just like Algonquin.
Yep. Next, we're headed to see Hap Wilson, the co-founder of Earthroots.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm the relic that they just keep around. I worked for the government actually in parks as a park ranger and a cartographer. So I bring a lot of that history up and remind people that, you know, these are our roots. I have a lot of history and relationship with First Nations in all my travels, but I don't speak for them. I would never do that. I was honored when I was given the name Mahingan Wibada, which means, translates into wolf tooth. When we came to this country, you know, we subjugated a lot of nature. We tried to conquer it, and especially predator type animals. Our understanding of wolves, not to look at it as a predator, but to look at it as a social unit and maybe as a relative, as the First Nations do. We look at it as somebody that you would like to go and visit and spend time with, you know, rather than something to be feared. One of my best experiences was that when I stepped into an opening, and I was very quietly walking, because I had my camera with me. I was trying to see if I could come across a wolf, and he was right there. I didn't feel fearful. I didn't feel like I was in danger, and that nanosecond where our eyes met was like there was a communication, and that sort of telepathy between us was, to me, magical.
Imagine what the world could do if all of us were working together to help save these species. How much of an impact could we make? And I think that would be quite beautiful.